All right, a beautiful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Rose Blossom, and of course, it's an amazing day because it's a Monday. Even though some workers at this point will tell you, "Oh, why is Monday coming so soon?" But trust me, you need to make that money, and making that money, you need to be at work. So yes, you're welcome to Women's Corner, another episode to educate every woman out there to understand how to treat yourself, treat your children, to treat your husband, and at the same time, even if you don't have those people in the circle right now, treating yourself is very important. And that is why we are here. And of course, you can watch us live on Facebook and on Twitter. It's Galaxy TV News. And of course, you can subscribe, like, and share. We have other YouTube channels actually. So you can like, subscribe, and share. And the channels are we have Galaxy TV News, which where we're streaming live right now. And we also have Galaxy TV Comedy. We have Galaxy TV Entertainment. We also have Galaxy TV Vibes, where you see all of the red carpet moments of every event around the country. That is where you get all the juicy gist. Anyways, yes, you can actually download Galaxy Television app because we have an app and it's on Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. So you can download Galaxy Television and watch us live. Today, we have an in-house guest, and I'm super excited. Well, this is the second time she's coming on board, not via Zoom. Via Zoom, she has been one of the amazing movements for women supporting women on Women's Corner. But this time around, she came to the studio. So I'm going to officially welcome again in 2025, right? I'm going to welcome Tolulokpe Adewunmi. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. How you
I'm doing
doing?
very
I love
well.
your dimple. Can you transfer?
It's not possible.
Anyways, how was your journey coming here today?
So this was fun though.
Awesome. Oh, I love that. Okay, before I tell you exactly what Tolulokpe Adewunmi does in full detail, there's usually a tip we do. And today we're talking about trauma for teenagers for becoming adults. There are a lot of things that happen. Sometimes traumatic event does not mean but let me not speak. I want her to speak because I have a lot of questions. There are some people that have never gone through trauma, but they themselves have this episode where because they love somebody or they've seen somebody experience it, then they become traumatic. So we're talking about the traumatic experiences, how to get over it as a parent, what you should do to help that child so it doesn't ruin the value or the standard of home training that you've given to the person, the morals. You don't lose it. So the first tip we'll be going for, aside from anything, is why I'm taking this tip is away from even the trauma we are having. And that's because a lot of accidents and incidents happen during the weekend. I saw a news where someone had a fire accident. I saw one where there was a road accident. And I saw a dating, not an accident dating, but a part whereby people got heartbroken over the weekend after Valentine. I don't understand. But anyways, it usually happens. So the first one we'll be taking is for home fire safety. Now, a lot of people do not know how to use gas, electricity, how to manage all these things together. You can have all of these things in your home and still not explode. You just have to be safe and you have to know the safety rules. So let's go check home fire safety rules and we'll be right back to the studio to continue talking with Tolulokpe Adewunmi and of course discussing the traumatic experiences and how to get over it. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Right, welcome back to Watching Women's Corner, and that's for home safety. So let's just quickly go to traumatic experiences and how parents can be very, very helpful. And of course, we have Tolulokpe Adewunmi. She is a family life practitioner and she is the founder of Exoya. Exoya is the experiences of your young adults in the sense that whatever experience you've had traumatically, they can help you build yourself and become better. So I'm doing this because I've seen a lot of young adults and even adults that do not even know. They know something has happened to them, but they do not even know that most of the decisions in life they've made, the reasons why they are who they are or what they are is because of their experiences. So I just feel that for you to get a solution, you have to know your problem. So we are here to let you know in case you have gone through this. Now, this is how you help yourself. So welcome to the show again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so gratefully, I like the fact that you're here. So you've had a lot of mentorship with teenagers who have gone through traumatic experience. I just want people to know what exactly do you think people can term as traumatic experience? Because trust me, in as much as people can say, oh, I had a traumatic experience, by the time you tell them to share, you'll find that it's not a traumatic. Whereas there are people who have gone really deep into this trauma. Like there's always, they call it an episode. You have the episode, there's this reminder and everything. Can you educate us on this journey from the traumatic experience to how you can be better, to how understanding that most of your decision is buying out from the fact that you had this trauma. It's not about being strong or being a man or being an independent woman. It's about you understanding that this is what you have told your line to be because of this experience. Then then maybe during the course of the line, I'll ask you specifically people that have this trauma. How do you think they behave? How can they get better?
All right, thank you very much. So I'm staying to your question now. When we talk about trauma, it's a response to an adverse event. So basically, when teenagers come to me or young people come to me and say, I've gone through this, there's this similarity and there are differences. Someone can go through unpleasant experience. It's different from you going through a traumatic experience. So this is what I mean. You can actually face a particular challenge, a particular situation that will not be traumatic. Yes, they are not traumatic.
Can you give an example?
Okay, I'm going to give an example. So what do I mean by this? If you face a particular challenge or you go through a particular circumstance, it is the response, the feeling at that moment, how you perceive that event, how you're able to respond, your feeling at that moment that determines if this is actually a traumatic experience for you. That is why you see A and B that will go through a particular thing together. And A is like, there's nothing wrong with me. Big deal. And B is like, something just happened to me, or a flashback, and then remembers what has really happened. So there's a slight difference between an unpleasant experience and a traumatic experience. Although an unpleasant experience can now later lead to a traumatic experience, but not all unpleasant situations are traumatic. Exactly.
Okay. Amazing. So now let me go to the questions. I have a lot of people in my head that I could give. Let me start with a very mild one. When you're somebody who is maybe you're a lover boy. No, let's even do a lover girl because this is women's corner. Let's talk about women. You're a lover girl and you tend to always love your man, give attention and all of that. And basically, when a woman is doing that, it means that she wants that in return, right? Now, but when you're not getting that and you find out that every time you talk about it or whenever you really need it, you end up maybe crying, feeling weak, feeling sad. And over time, you've been making it known to that man, your partner that not even being married. Let's be married because I don't pray anybody gets into that situation being married. Now, when you feel like you've been saying this for months, maybe running into a year, and at a point you just find that woman never says anything about it anymore. She does not just need attention. She doesn't just care. She doesn't give a hint of what you do. Does it mean that is a traumatic experience for her, or that's just a bad experience? Because I feel like if a woman that comes out of that, if she meets the next man, she might necessarily not want to show such that part of her again because she feels like, oh, I was taken for granted. She wants to be all strong, or maybe she tried it and ends up, restricting herself again. Now, what would you call that? Is that a traumatic experience or that's a bad experience? And at this point, what do you think a woman in that category should do when she find out that, oh, I used to be a very good lover girl, but now any man that do anything, I'll give them back. Do you understand? Vengeful.
All right, I'm going to start with this. We have 5 love languages. So we have words of affirmation, we have touch, we have quality time, we have, we have all 5 love languages. So for a child now, as you grow, it is the love language your parent shows to you that you actually pick. So if my parents give me the 5 love languages, I will naturally give that to whosoever comes in contact with me, be it the opposite gender or my gender. If my parents shows me just one out of all the long language, that is what I would sit towards. So for a young person or a person in a relationship, or you have partner and that is your love language. Let's take words of affirmation, for example, and quality time is your love language, and you have a partner that his love language is not words of affirmation and quality time. You see, that becomes a problem because you are expressing what you can express to that person. If that person is gifts, if the guy
It
is,
doesn't
it
work.
doesn't work because the guy is expecting you to give me gifts. I want gifts. It is the thought that counts, no matter how small it is. But you are giving me words of affirmation. You're giving me,
Not
like,
that.
I don't want that. Same to
Mm.
vice versa. It can be. And you know, the way man and woman are wired
Wired
differently.
differently.
Yes, women tend to, give all that they have, and they express their emotions. You can see there. A man too, as society always tells me that men naturally don't want to, express their emotion, or they want to behave like, okay, they are men, and, they are actually very strong. So for someone in that kind of relationship, there is a way you can make your point known without being left, like, you're being sidelined, or you.
I'm even talking about yes, she is women's scholar. She making her point known.
Yes.
Now, but at this point now, she has made her point known, but the person is not understanding. And like you said, maybe, just maybe, okay, let's put it that she understands the person's love language, and she's doing her best to make sure that his
The
love
other
language
person
being met.
reciprocates
Yeah, to
that.
reciprocate that. But the problem is, while she's making effort to make it work for the man is not even trying to work it.
All right.
on her
So
own part.
can we ask, how is she communicating? Communication also
Is
plays
very
a very important role. How are you communicating? Are you just shouting about it, that you don't care about me? This is what I want. Or have you sat down to say, oh babe, or whatever person you call the person, and say, do you really know what I want? This is what I want. This is how I love to be treated. This is what I really want. And for an understanding partner, be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I thought you love this. I thought you love that. But anytime I get you this, you don't feel bothered, or you just say thank you about it.
But if you guys disagree, what happens?
If the guy disagrees, I'm sure that there's other ways to communicate aside sitting down. So to talk about it. So it might be getting you something like, oh, I love what you got for me. But however, I would appreciate that, you do it this way, you do it this way. There are some people, when they give you something or they do something for you, if you don't appreciate it, they'll be like, you're an ingrate, you are not grateful. That the little thing, they went extra mile, like above and beyond, to satisfy you.
And that could even reduce whatever.
Exactly. So even if you are not comfortable, or you don't really like what your partner is giving you at that time, there are better ways to communicate. And I believe that if you structure your communication very well, you know how that person loves to be communicated to. You know how it is. Probably it's in the night that person will listen to you, not very early in the morning, or maybe when it's just reading magazine or newspaper, or when it's watching football. At the end of the football, when their players or the team is playing, finish watching, and they score the match and everything, you can just strip it. He's in that excited mood, and you can present whatever. I'm like, oh, babe, I never thought of this, or I was thinking this, and you'll be able to trash it out.
Okay, right. Now let's end that part. I think we have asked so much questions on that one. Now let's talk about people that really got to this traumatic experience, maybe being raped, being abused. Let's just term it as abuse sexually, or sexism, which a lot of women, a lot of parents do not prepare their girl child. That is the word sexism, sexualism outside there. That people will always sexualize you. Men will, not even the women now. Women is another case. But men will always sexualize you. You just have to be ready, stand your ground, be confident, know who you are, and all of that. Of course, now we already have Natasha speaking. She has been suspended for 6 months. But the point is, if someone has been sexually abused, let's use that, or maybe traumatized one way or the other, and maybe over time, let me pick an example. Maybe a child who was molested as a child, maybe 5, 6, and did not understand, did not even know as a child that she was molested. But she grew up and later found out that, oh, I was molested as a child. And trust me, I believe that child at that age, I feel that every decision she takes from that moment of molestation, so I feel is always connected to that experience. Then it now makes it worse the moment she realized that, oh, I was sexualized. Oh, no wonder. I know they give man. I know they give them 2 years. Now they start. Now they become worse. Now some people don't even become worse. They already know that, oh, no wonder I don't like men. No wonder when a man tells me I'm pretty, I'll look at him like, oh yes, I know I'm pretty. naturally you're supposed to say thank you, you're supposed to appreciate, but they don't because they know who they are. But they did not know that somehow this decision or this composure, this confidence they have was because of an experience that they do not remember. You understand? I'm sure you understand that.
Yes,
So now, what can such a child, not even a child, an adult, knowing that fully well that she came of age and she realized that she's been traumatized, or yeah, she didn't even, there was no realization, but she just knew that there's something different the way she thinks. Like if five of her friends are sitting down, her idea is always different from theirs, but she does not know that it was born out of one experience she had, but she decided to blank. You know, people blank the
Yes.
experience. Now, tell me, is it nice to blank that experience? And if you is not, it's not nice. However, if I now make a decision, let's take myself for example, I make a decision. I said, okay, if I need to get a man, I need to get a man that's so intentional. He's in love with me. Even if I tell him to go and paint the wall, and he does not want to paint, I want he'll paint the wall. But my decision is wrong. What I'm saying is wrong. But I do not understand that it's wrong because there's an experience that I'm not even trying to remember. I'm not trying to go back to, but I just know that
shaped you,
that
you have become.
yeah. So what can we do? I hope this my question is very long.
All right, thank you very much for that question.
Yeah.
So one thing is awareness. Is the person aware that, oh, this is what I have gone through, and this is why I am exhibiting this trait? But there are some people that already know that, oh, because of what I have experienced, probably rape and everything, I don't want to even see a man. I don't want anybody to call me, they're just, anytime they think about that experience, they're just angry about it and they don't want to have anything to do with a man. However, there are also some people that, they might not really realize what was done to them when they were young until probably someone said their story or they came across it one way or the other. I'm like, oh, I was actually molested. You see, there are two different things now. One is already aware right from the onset that, oh, this is what happened to me. And as, that has triggered in so many areas. Why the other person, it wasn't until later parts of her life that she realizes that, oh, this is what was done to me. So for A, that already knows that this is what has happened to me and this is the reason I am acting that way. The first question I would like to ask that person is, now that you are living your life, are you okay? Are you comfortable in this kind of life you are living, in how you treat people, the opposite gender? Is this is how you want to treat them, or is it because of what you have experienced that is how you are treating them? Remember that probably now decide to get married. Is this the same way you're going to treat your partner? Your male child also.
No. How can the person get over it?
All right. If the male child also, is this how you're going to treat them? You have brothers also. Would you like them also to be treated that way? Or do you have cousins and their family members who would like to be treated that way? The fact is that the things that happened to us when we were young, we have no control over them. But now that we are adults, we know the difference between our right and our left. What then do we want to do with our life? Do we want to remain stagnant in one position, or you want to move forward? It's not left for the individual, because no matter how you try, even as a therapist or as a counselor or as a coach, you want to help that person until the person says that, oh, I am ready for healing. I want to go on an healing journey. That is when you can actually start taking this up.
With your experience, is it possible that somebody wants to heal, somebody is ready to move forward, treat people better, treat men better? Because we're trying to talk about women. Is it possible that while the person is really trying to heal and get better, with all the help and everything, the person just keep finding themselves back to where it's not?
Yes, it's possible.
Why?
But that is why it's also important that just follow up. So when a person comes for a healing journey or coaching or therapy session like that, it's not a one-off thing. It's not just one-off and you say it has gone. It's just like you going to the hospital now and the doctor treats you. They have to come for checkup to know that you are fine. And after some time, when they see that you are properly okay, they can then say, okay, probably you come for treatment a year after, or it is gone and fine. So that's the same way you come for the treatment, you come for assessment to know that, oh, you're actually fine, and the areas you still need to work on. Then you have a shoulder to lean on, to cry on, to say, oh, I actually want to go. Then we'll start looking for and checking areas. What are your triggers? What is actually making you stuck? Today you are okay, the next day, is it people that you are around with that are taking you back to that place. You're in a relationship with someone that's actually drawing you back to where you are coming from. These are things that we are going to checkmate. Or if you're still a young person, you have parents. That is why whenever we have this healing session for children or young people also, if they are still with their parents will come for this session. So that you are not healing the child and the parents is taking them back to where they are coming from.
True. Ooh, I love this. Let me just ask this. We're not going to take any tip. I'm sorry, we won't take anything. Let me just keep asking questions. Now, you just made an amazing point, which means it's a continuous kind of healing process.
Yes.
Until it could take maybe years, right?
Exactly.
Because I feel something that has been there for years. It will not take 1 year to just erase. It's not, I don't even think it's even possible. I'm sorry for therapists. I'm sorry, like if I have a traumatic experience and let's say I'm 30 and I decide I want to heal because I just realized I was abused or something, I don't think you can heal me 1 or 2 years old, because this is a decision I have been living with. Like maybe a man comes to me and tells me I'm pretty and I never know how to say thank you. And you're telling me, just say thank you. I might say thank you today. In the next 10 minutes, I'll be like, what the? Because I'm drawn. It's something I've lived with for years. So I just feel it takes a lot of positivity, which that's your job.
All right. So it's not for everyone. We are wired differently. Yeah. And that is why personality also plays an important role.
Okay.
So the way a choleric will actually act to certain situations is not from a sanguine. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so someone might take years and another person might take months to heal that same situation or that same occurrence.
Amazing. Thank you for even mentioning the temperament. Now, I've seen someone who is a choleric and who actually became a choleric because of his experience. Let me use a her. Because of her experience now. He's a man, but let me put it right. Every time I want to say he, like she became, let me just put it in he because it's not gonna work. Now he became a choleric because of his experience as a child. He was abused. That was the first time I heard that a man used to be abused. not now that now we have social media. It was then early years. And because of that abuse, he became a choleric in nature. It was a leader. Like anywhere he goes to, people just want to put him in because he goes for the results and the process. He already knows the process. Like he's an overthinker, already knows what to bring out. But eventually, because he knows that choleric part of him, it's not exactly what he wants to be in marriage. He wants to be the happy man. He wants to be the man that is honorary man. He doesn't want to be the man that is the food ready. You know, this straight, bossy people. He doesn't want it. So he decided to embrace sanguine temperament. Like, you know, when somebody learned to be a sanguine, I saw somebody became a sanguine. I was even better at it than me. You know, I became a sanguine and it was so playful. Everybody was, you know, for years. But everybody that came, like ladies that loved him and came to meet me and said, I know this your friend, who I want to marry him. The ones that are serious, I'll sit there and say, guy, this guy is not a sanguine. You see, all of this is a charade just to hide that part of him that he hates. Because I cannot tell them his story. So, but I'm just telling them that this is what you actually say when you get married. You will get this other part. So what do you think one should do at this point?
Okay, so I want to bring you back to what you just mentioned. I don't know the person and we've not carried out assessment. I'm sure that if we carry out assessment on this person, would actually see the true picture, the personality type of this young person you're talking about. Because a child can be a sanguine naturally. A child can be a sanguine, but because of your parents' temperaments, you want to please them. You have your dad, you have your mom. You take the person. There's something also called pseudo personality. I will be diving into that today. You want to take as a child, because if I'm a sanguine and I like to talk, you know, I will call them the live wire of a place. Wherever they get to, they have this aura, and you know, everybody just likes them. Yes. So if you have your parent that is a choleric now, and the thing is that you talk too much, you are not concentrating on your studies, or you just, you know, they like, wherever there's phone, they like to learn through phone. And if you have a choleric parent, they are seeing you as, they are wasting time, they are wasting your life. This is not what you're supposed to do. So definitely the child will want to tilt towards that aspect to please mommy and daddy. whatever personality type they have, such that, when they go out there, if you are the type of parent that shame your child outside to say, that is how you used to play, that's why you're a dullard, or that is why you are this, the child will not want you to disgrace him or her outside, and naturally picks what your personality, okay, become prim and proper, become domineering, that kind of attitude. So back to your to what you just mentioned now, the way you analyze it, it might be because of that experience, probably traumatic experience the person has gone through, and you say what, oh, you see, this is my personality. Probably is a sanguine naturally, but because of that experience, it has triggered something. I say, people are taking me for granted. Probably because I was playing with this aunt, or I played with this woman, so she thought she can just use and dump me or do me the way I want. So instead of people perceiving me that way, I'm just going to change. I'm going to be very, very dominant. I'm going to be strong. That whenever people come in contact with me, they'll be like, this person is a leader. And then the person will tilt towards that, take leadership position, just to erase all those memory and everything. So this person may actually now fall back to his natural state because he wants to be better. He does not want, because of that experience now, to now paint him to who he is not. So we have so many things like that.
Oh, now I understand, because but wait, it was like you said, it was the experience that painted him that way.
It might be the experience that made him to pick up that personality type.
I feel it was the experience, because it was this, I feel what am I saying? If I look at the story very well, I think it was his playfulness that made him meet an ant, play with an ant, be so sure and
exactly free
and
with the
free
took advantage of him.
and they took advantage. So he became this and at the end of the day, he had to go back to, being playful. But our fear is, he's still single. His own fear too is also, I don't think I know myself. That's the point he always gets at. I don't think I know myself yet. How will I go and carry a woman that in their book is as long as a full street? I will never understand what they do or what they say. What they say is never what they mean. What they mean is never what they even say. Like, it's all mud up. Now, he is not married because he feels that he doesn't know himself. And if I want to be real, like you said, that means he's a sanguine. He would decide to be that way. But don't you think that there's this part of him that has always probably been choleric? But maybe that trauma triggered it and brought it out.
All right.
And stayed.
Okay. So when we talk about personality now, it's not a one-way thing, and you can just be a sanguine. You can be a mix of, I mentioned something about pseudo personality too, like two contrasting personality type. Yes, that's, let's say, just
example.
So you are intimidating, or I'm trying to use my professional terminology.
No, you can use them.
Choleric now.
You can use them. Go.
So you have a systematic fraud that likes a perfectionist, so to say, and then you have a dependable truck. Dependable truck is somebody that they like to take things slow and steady. And they just want to do, and you have an intimidating woman. Let's say you have a dependent and an intimidating woman, and you want them to. It's contrasting because one is a go-getter, like immediately. The other person is just laid back, and but I don't want to be at the forefront. Just put me at the back. Anything that has to do with teamwork or organizing, do something at back end, you only find them. They were taking the forefront, taking decisions. You will never find them doing that, and then they are slow to taking decisions. Sometimes you have to push them. They really love word of affirmation. An intimidating woman does not care whether words of affirmation. If you like, don't even say something nice. They don't care. They move. But for somebody that is a dependable truck, whatever you say can even break them. It can make them and it can break them. So if you have this type of control, so you can have an individual that's like that, and you are wondering that today you are taking leadership position. Tomorrow you are saying, what? I'm just tired. I just want, and you are looking at it that what's wrong? What's wrong? So there's a possibility that you can even have the 4 personality types. If you have the 4 personalities, it means you've groomed yourself to a level that exactly, you've mastered them, that you can relate with anyone. You are, but how many people do we have?
How many people
that so you can have more than 1 personality type. You can have 2. You can have 3 personalities. And like I said, parents it's also a determining factor in all of this. If you have parents that they have a different personality from that of a child, it will also reflect in the life of that child, because one way or the other, sometimes parents try to impose their own personality.
So if you have to advise parents in just a few seconds, because our time is up, in a few seconds, if you have to advise parents, because like you just said, I think parents, they are like the first education every child has. what would you tell them to do when you have the building personality and not even about the traumatic experience now, just build their personality, knowing who every child is and treating them that different way. Because growing up as a child, I used to hear that there's always a black sheep in the family. Why would you call a child a black sheep? Africans.
Mm.
Anyways, I'm African too. But you understand that.
Yes, I
Now
totally
imagine
understand.
if you, me, and there's a third, and they're like, you also be the black sheep of the family. Do you know, in a way, even if I am the best of my age, I become terrible, I become stubborn, I become wayward. Because put it into
Labeled
me,
you that
yeah.
name.
So it's like anything I do, I get away because they already said I'm the black sheep of the family. So why am I trying to be good? Now, what advice would you give to parents to be able to make sure that they groom their child in the perfect personality that they should have for themselves, like let them keep themselves?
All right, thank you. So for parents, it is important that you study your child. You study a child right from when a child is born. You begin to see different characteristics. That's why you see your first child might probably be different from your second child, and the rest of your children you have. It is important that you begin to observe. That's one important thing. Observe them, and then when you observe them, so we have certain characteristics, different characteristics of personality type. When you observe it, that's when you'll be able to know that, oh, A is different from B. And when you realize that, don't begin to you want to say A is better than B, or B is leverage on their strength. What are their strengths? What are their areas of improvement? I wouldn't say weakness. What are the areas of improvement? If you notice that, oh, your child is good in a particular aspect and not really good in a particular aspect, how can you as a parent build the child instead of you breaking down the child and say you are the black sheep of the family? And it's also one thing that, like I said, you need to understand who your child is, because if you don't understand who your child is, if the personality of your child is different from you, you would end up breaking that child,
course, yes.
because you'll be thinking or saying the child should do something in a particular direction, and the child is singing it in another direction. And that does not mean that your child is also even wrong. You guys might be, the two of you might be saying the same thing, but two different ways, or two different types of doing something, two different ways of doing things. So it is important that parents, you actually hear from your children or your child. Don't say they are too young or they are too small, because I'm in this, parents, like African parents like saying that, because I've been here on earth on so about years. I know better than you and every other thing.
What
Then
we see
exactly, just evolve with things, evolve with your parenting skill and parenting style.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I have a lot of questions, and I have to bring you back to still talk about this, because there are a lot of questions, and maybe this time around when we bring you back, I will list from our viewers. I'll list a lot of traumatic experiences and maybe how they want to get over it. But with all of that, I want to say thank you so much to your friend. It's been amazing. Well, anyways, what you do, so it's soft work for you, it's a soft landing. But thank you very much for being in the studio.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We really appreciate you. And thank you, viewers, for joining. If you've missed this episode, please go to our Facebook and our YouTube with Galaxy TV News and watch this program. We talked about traumatic experiences, and aside from that, we even talked about 5 love languages at a point, and we talked about the temperament. So it's all mixed in one. It's all part of the experiences. You do not need to have a traumatic experience. It could just be a bad experience, but not a traumatic experience. Traumatic experience is just how you feel, like what she said.
Response.
Response. How I respond to what happened to me, and the person who want to go down the rabbit hole. So trust me, it's just what makes it a traumatic experience. But we can get over it. We women, we can get over it. Even though we have a high percentage of women abuse or the traumatic experiences we have, and you find out that when you go to I don't want to say psychiatric word, but when you go to people who go for therapy, you find out that most women are the ones at therapy, and that's because we're so emotional that sometimes very basic things could move us off. But anyways, I'll be joining you soon again on the bar to talk about the state and affairs of the country, and you do not want to miss that one too. So I'll be producing right after news on the hour. Do have a beautiful day for yourself. I'll see you pretty soon. Bye for now.